Cape Town. What's up? Hey, thank y'all for coming. I'm gonna just get set up real quick and then I'm gonna play a little bit. All right, that's cool. All right, cool. sounding okay? That sounded okay?
Some days things just take way too much of my energy. I look up and the whole room's spinning. You take my cares away. I get so overcomplicate. People tell me to medicate. Feel my blood running, sweat, the sky's falling. I don't know if this shit's fabricated. Time goes by and I can't control my mind. Don't know what else to try. You tell me every time. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. No, I gotta keep on breathing. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. No, I gotta keep on breathing. Sometimes it's hard to find my way up into the clouds. Tuning out, they can be so loud. You remind me of a time when things weren't so complicated. All I need is to see your face. Feel my blood running, sweat, the sky's falling. I don't know if this shit's fabricated. Time goes by and I can't control my mind. Don't know what else to try, but you tell me every time. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. And now I gotta keep on breathing. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. Now I gotta keep on breathing. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. I keep on breathing. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. Now I gotta keep on breathing.
Y'all can see I'm human, man. Mistakes and all. You seen it in person. So cool, man. First of all, I want to thank Stafford for putting this clinic together, man. Y'all give him a hand. Man, it was like we didn't have much time to put this together, man, but he pulled it off, man. I was like, wow. And you can see it's a good turnout, man. We got people up here. You know, the floor is full, standing room. VIP. Yeah, man. Thank you, Stafford, man. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you to Bostoners Claremont, man. And also thank you all for coming through and showing your support, man, spending this evening with me, man. We wanted to make this event amazing and you know, making it an experience. And I just wanted to. I told Stafford, man, I wanted to connect with, you know, everybody who follows me online, man. I want to be able to meet you all in person, shake your hand, say what's up to you, and, you know, just be an inspiration and offer any advice or answer any questions that you all may have. So that's what I want to do now. I just kind of want to open the floor and just, you know, answer any questions that any of you may have relating to drums or relating to life, career-wise. I don't have all the answers, but I think I'll be able to answer some. So yeah, man, I want to do that now. Is there anybody in here that want to start this Q&A session off? Anybody? There's no wrong questions or stupid questions. It's all good stuff. All right, my man up here. Okay. What's up? Since you asked, I got you, bro. All right. Anybody else? You said what for the what? The kick drum. You got to talk to Stafford about that one. Anybody else? Yo. Thank you, bro. Yeah. Got you. So, man, I'm from United States, obviously, but Georgia. I grew up about 45 minutes north of Atlanta, Georgia, in a city called Cartersville, Georgia. Yeah, man. And I started playing drums. Well, I'll take you back. The journey started around 2 years old on pots and pans in my mom's kitchen. So, like real talk. So, my parents, they listen to the radio all day, man. I was exposed to a lot of gospel and R&B music. And it was a lot of old school R&B, like, the Earth, Wind, and Fire, the James Brown, Prince, Michael Jackson, all those guys. And, man, that's where the journey started. So, just me being around my parents and around my mom all day and listening to the radio, being exposed to all that music. One day I decided to go in the kitchen and just randomly just pull out some pots and pans in the kitchen and just grab two spoons, 2 forks or whatever that I could get my hands on. And I would just beat to whatever song was on the radio, just kind of mimic the groove, try to at least. And one day my grandmother was at the house. I did that consistently. One day my grandmother was at the house. She was able to experience what I was doing, playing along to the songs or whatever. And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna get my baby a drum set for Christmas. So she got me a little toy drum set from Walmart. Y'all have Walmart here? Okay. All right. Well, yeah, she got it. What's the equivalent here? Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, she got that. She got that for me at Walmart back in U.S. And man, I destroyed that kit in 2 days because it had paper heads. It wasn't real drum heads on it. So I busted the drums. And the thing with Walmart is they let you return anything. It's they don't care. They don't care what condition it's in. It's you buy it. If you got it off of Walmart, you can return it and exchange it. So she took it back to Walmart, got her money back, and then they eventually got me a something more durable. Still a kiddie drum set, but it was more durable to be able to take my power. I had a lot of power at a young age. So got that kit, and then from that point, I kind of was more self-taught, but I took 4 drum lessons from a local drummer in my church. I started in church. Gospel all day. Took drum lessons from a local drummer at church just to learn just the basic foundational grooves, something as simple as this. Just straight pocket, straight groove. So he worked with me on that to make sure that I had good timing and make sure I could hold a consistent groove. From that point, I just started experimenting on my own. I stopped drum lessons. I don't know why, but I guess my parents felt like I was good enough to learn on my own from that point. So eventually I started playing in church, and while I'm playing in church, I was in school. I was playing football and basketball. I played sports. So I was going from football practice to band practice. It's I finished football practice, sprint over to band practice and finish that up. And then around my junior year in high school, I had to make a decision because I had to really focus on what I wanted my future to be, right? So I had to talk with my dad, and he was like, hey, man, you have a gift. He noticed my gift. He noticed my passion for music, and he was like, hey, man, you need to start thinking about what you're going to do in the future, your career-wise, man. He was like, man, you got a gift. It's a gift from God, man, and, I know you love football, but I think you should probably pursue music. He saw it before I even saw it. So I around that time I attended a drum camp that was hosted by Sonny Emery. Anybody know who Sonny Emery is? Yeah, he hosted a drum camp one summer, and I went to that. And keep in mind, like before that, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of I'll say the possibilities of what I could become as a musician. Like I just knew church. I knew church. I knew gospel music. I was familiar with R&B too, but I never saw myself like touring and playing for different artists and TV and all that kind of stuff. I saw it on TV, but I thought that if you weren't, a part of that community or didn't grow up around that, it just wasn't a way in. So I went to that camp, and it really just exposed me to a lot of different possibilities. And from that point, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna quit sports, and really focus on pursuing the drum set as a career. So I did that, graduated high school, then I went to Atlanta Institute of Music, which is a college in Atlanta, and I went there for a year just to learn everything that I was doing. Like I played by ear. I didn't know how to read music. Anybody know what Drumline is, the movie? I was Nick Cannon. I didn't know how to read, didn't really understand my rudiments. So I was like, I need to go to school so I can be equipped to do things like I'm doing today, like teach, explain what I'm playing on the kit. That's why I went to school. So I went to Atlanta Institute of Music, and after graduating there, well, while I was still there, I continued to network and meet new people and connect with other musicians, other people who were doing things that I wanted to do on a certain scale. After graduating Atlanta Institute of Music, I joined my band, The Four Corners. Anybody know who that is? Yeah, that's my band. It's a fusion band. I joined that band. And man, around that time, that's when I feel like I started to evolve into sounding like my own person and not trying to mimic anyone else. It was just one of those things, like I had blended the gospel side, the gospel and R&B side with the jazz fusion side, and it started to create something that was totally just original and different. But most of all, I just kind of allowed myself to be free and do what was natural without any rules. And from that point, man, it's been a journey. It hasn't always been it hasn't been 100% wins. I've faced several failures, but the thing is, I just continue to keep going, man, and push through it because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I just stayed the course, and hey, man, I'm able to say that I'm touring with artists. I'm here in South Africa with Jeffrey Osborne, backing him on his shows, and I'm doing a clinic in Cape Town. So, man, that's pretty much how I got into the music industry, and that's how I got to where I'm at now. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, and also I will say too, social media has contributed so much to my career, just as far as like getting noticed. Like I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for social media. So you saw the videos that I posted over the years, and that's how I'm able to market my music and get it in front of people. So that played a huge part too. Yeah. Anybody else? Right. Yes, sir. Yeah. Man, thank you, bro. So I'll say this. I think when it comes to playing pocket and playing a groove, I think the first thing is, of course, it's discipline. Knowing when and when not to play certain things. As far as like playing too much around the groove to like kind of just simplify it and like make it like really stick. But I think another thing that is sometimes overlooked is how you hit the drum and how you hit these drums and these cymbals. It's like it's a certain feel that you want to orchestrate when you're playing. So like, for example, it's something to be mindful of. Like when I was I used to do this gig when I was around like 16 years old. It was at this spot called Cafe 290, right? And I was playing with this saxophonist named Reggie Hines, and that was a gig that I was able to like experiment and kind of just try things, right? So one day he was like, "Hey man, I hear what you're trying to do, but I need to feel that pocket, man. You just stick the groove." And eventually, I kind of caught on to what he was talking about. It was like, the foundation of a groove is most of the time, depending on the genre of music, is the kick, snare, and hi-hat, right? So like it depends on how you hit the drum that like kind of makes you feel the groove a little bit more. So like for example, if I play this groove like this, I'm gonna play it two different ways, and you tell me which one feels better. So like watch this. So this is one way. So I was playing with the tips of the stick. So now if he's like, okay, just I want to feel that groove in my chest. I'm gonna play pretty much at the same volume, but I'm gonna change how I'm striking the drum and striking the hi-hat. So watch it. So it's simple stuff like that. Like all I did was change how I was hitting the hats. Instead of playing with the tip of the stick, I'm striking the hi-hat with the shoulder of the stick. And instead of playing the snare with the tip of my stick, I'm playing a rim shot, connecting with the rim and the snare. So that's something to be mindful of when you're trying to stick the groove. Just how you strike the drum and making sure that it's consistent. Like sometimes what I used to struggle with is like playing a consistent rim shot. So I used to play something like, I used to trip up like, hit the rim. Like nah, like nah. You want to focus on being consistent with, your rim shots. And like just because if you're playing a gig and they're like, hey man, play a little bit softer. If you're playing a rim shot, that doesn't necessarily mean you go to playing the center of the drum and not connecting with the rim. You can still play a rim shot and keep the same feel. Just play it softer. All you gotta do is like, say this is the rim right here. Just pull the stick back just a little bit. And it gives you a lighter, see what I'm saying? Lighter rim shot. So that's one thing, just how you strike the drum as far as like having a solid groove that you can feel. Another thing is obviously is timing. So like say if I had on a metronome, another exercise I like to do is work on my timing. And say if I had on a metronome, let's see. Slow this down. And like this is like 50 beats per minute, right? So I'm gonna play a groove like doom, ga, doom, ga, doom, ga, doom, ga. And this space is more space instead of me having a clap, clap, click that's going like this that I can rely on. I'm creating space in between each note. So it's automatically going to train my inner metronome to have good timing. And the way I like to practice this is like, say if I'm off, if the metronome disappears when I'm playing against it, that means I'm on time. And if I can hear it, that means I'm off and I need to adjust a little bit. Whether I'm dragging or rushing, I need to adjust my timing. So that's another way I like to work on, my groove and having a consistent groove. In addition to that, I know it's a long answer, but I hope I'm giving you a good answer. All right. So in addition to that, I also like to play to music, like certain tracks. A lot of old school gospel and R&B music. Some of it they didn't play to a metronome. And me personally, I like to challenge myself to like feel the music and kind of where it's going. So that's another tool that I like to use when I'm practicing groove. But all in all, man, it's really just about making sure that you can feel. It's all based around feel. Like just making sure that you can feel what you're playing. Like what I like to do too is like record myself, whether I'm practicing or at a gig or something. I like to record myself and go back and look at it. And I'm like, I just act like I'm in the audience and listen to it. And I'm like, this feels good or this doesn't feel good. And I just work on it from there and just keep training myself. But those are some of the ways that I work on, strengthening my groove. Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Let's see, man. It's been many. I'll start with me in the beginning. So when I started playing in church, it was right around the time that I had just started playing in church. So I was playing for the youth choir at my church, and one Sunday, They were like, hey, we're gonna try you with the adult choir, right? So I practiced with them in rehearsal, and I got booted off the drums because they were like, I guess they were like, hey man, you still learning, you still training. Doesn't sound good. They didn't tell me that, but that's what they were implying. So that was a moment where I could have been like, I could have got discouraged. I did get discouraged. I cried. I was a kid. But my parents were like, hey, this is just the beginning. Keep going. So that was a moment where I could have just quit because I was so discouraged, and but it was a learning experience, and it motivated me to continue getting better. And I was like, you know what? One day I'm gonna prove them wrong. And that's what happened, man. I continue to get better, continue to improve, and just use that moment as motivation. I'll say this too. Situation here recently, this year, like last year I released my first album as an artist. So I had this whole year planned out. I'm like, this year I'm going to go hard on my album. I'm going to pursue my own thing, and just go forward with that. I'm not gonna focus on too many other things. That was my plan. I planned out this whole year. I'll say the end of December, right before the new year, a huge opportunity fell in my lap. I can't say what it is right now, but it's a situation that could possibly put my stuff on hold for a minute, as far as like me doing shows consistently. So this other opportunity that fell in my lap it's huge, and I'm like, man, I want to do this, but also I don't want to leave my own stuff on hold or put my own stuff on hold. So I went through a moment of like, man, I don't know what to do. So it's like I went through a moment of I just had to be patient and be still and just do what I can in the moment and just wait to see what God is gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we can have our whole year or have plans of like, hey, I want to achieve this by this point or this month. I want to do this by that point. But to be honest, man, it's not up to us. We don't control how fast things happen. It's like we can only control what we're doing in the moment and just be patient and stay prayed up, talk to God and just wait and just allow him to work things out how it's supposed to work out. So that's the season I've been in this year. And that's been a struggle because it's tough not being able to go 110% at anything because you want to do both things, but you don't know which way you're supposed to go. So I've been in a season where it's like, I'm going to do what I can in the moment, and I'm just going to be patient. And everything is going to work out how it's supposed to work out. So that's been a huge struggle. But you know what I'm saying? For me, it's a learning experience. It's a moment for me to grow and work on my patience. And, I feel like that's something that all of us musicians go through is having patience because it's easy for us to look on social media and see our peers like they're going touring all over the world and, playing for this artist, traveling to this place, and we're sitting at home. We're like, man, what am I doing wrong? But you're not doing nothing wrong. It's their turn right now, and you just need to know that your turn is coming. So you just gotta clap for the people who are out there doing their thing, and when your time comes, it's your time to shine. So, yeah, man. Yes, sir. There you go. Yeah. Right. Right. Got you. So, there are still moments where I find myself soloing and somewhat hesitating on what I want to do next. But I'll say this: the main thing that I focus on is taking my time and building and growing my solos. And I'll say this too, man: don't be intimidated or don't be scared to solo. Like, figure out what your peak is. Like, if your peak and your playing is like playing 30-second notes at a certain BPM, just scale back from that. You see what I'm saying? So like, say like right here is your peak, and this, like, that's this fast and as clean, or like that's the wow factor up here, right? So when you start the solo, depending on how long the solo is, say you got 16 bars, the first 4 bars, I'm going to just play something real smooth. Not necessarily smooth, but simple. You know, I always consider like the transition between from coming from the song or whatever section in the song going to the solo. I'm like, okay, if this section before the solo was a solid groove, then I want to kind of make that transition smooth. I don't want to come straight from playing the groove to playing, you know what I'm saying, just going crazy. I want it to be smooth because I want to take people on a journey. So I'm going to start like, for example, this is what I think about. So I'm coming from a groove. I may spend the first 4 bars kind of playing off of the groove. And then, somebody called me, my bad. I'll spend like the first 4 bars playing off of that groove, right? Next 4 bars, I may start to introduce like some triplet stuff. Just kind of slowly growing the solo. I'm still taking my time. The third group of 4 bars, I may come away from the groove and start to play more open fills, right? Like a lot of hand rudiment stuff around the kick. Last 4 bars, that's your peak. 30-second notes, you going all in. You know what I'm saying? And by that time, it's like you're growing. If you start here and you grow, it's gonna take people on a journey. It doesn't matter how fast you can play or how whatever. Like if you can't play 30-second notes, if 16 notes is as fast as you can go at this BPM, start very simple and just grow it. And I promise you, it's gonna take people on the journey, bro. I'm gonna give you an example though. I'm gonna just play to let's see. Let me see if I can find something. I'm gonna show you an example of what I mean. Let's see. Pull up a metronome. Go from the back. All right, you know what? No metronome, just play it live. Hopefully my timing is good enough. All right, so I'm gonna play a groove and then I'm gonna go into a solo for I'm gonna do a 16-bar solo. All right. So So that's just an example. It's like, I know what my peak is, so I'm just gonna take my time to get there. That's it. So it doesn't matter, like, if you can't play that fast, it's cool. Like, start with 16 notes and just come down. You know what I'm saying? And just take your time. That's the biggest thing, taking your time and not overthinking, just staying relaxed and just taking your time to get to the peak. Make sense? Cool. Yes, sir. So I'm currently using the 5/8 barrel with the barrel tip. This has been my go-to stick probably like the last, honestly, ever since I joined Vic First back in 2016. Yeah, so like the last 8 years, this is what I've been rocking with. Excuse me. I also like the HD4s for like more intimate situations, like if I'm playing like some straight ahead jazz or something like that, or like really small setting, like small venue. I may pull those sticks out so that I can play a little bit lighter, have a lighter touch. I also like the 85As too, with the acorn tip on it. But yeah, this is the main stick though, for sure. 5/8 barrel. Yep. So you said, what's my take on it? All right, so this is my take on that. I think, no offense to anybody who hasn't started in church, okay? It's cool. But I will say this. I honestly think and I honestly believe that a lot of musicians who start in church, we have a certain edge. Um, and I think that it's a lot of things that, like, if we can play gospel, it's like it's not too many things that we can't play. It's the only, I think the most challenging thing is discipline and knowing when and when not to play these crazy chops. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of crazy chops don't fit in every genre. They don't fit in every setting. So I think having discipline and knowing when and when not to use those chops, it's a huge, huge skill, man. It's a beneficial skill. Honestly, man, that's really the difference. I believe, like, we have a certain feel, a certain way that we groove and play pocket. It's like, because, you know, in churches, playing gospel music it's based on all emotion and, you know, connecting with God. And it's like, for me, I think that translates into every other genre that I play. It's like, and you still feel God in certain genres of music, in every genre of music when I play. So it's like, I think the biggest thing is having discipline, and also learning specific patterns. So, like, if a groove, if a song has a certain kick pattern, and the snare is doing something in a certain hi-hat pattern, it's important for us to know and play the exact patterns, and, you know, have discipline and not do too much. Just play the record, serve the music. That's the thing. But as far as, like, you know, it being different than anything else, man, I think a lot of genres, they all have similarities. But it's just sounding authentic and serving the music. That's the biggest thing. Got pocket, man. That's my definition. Playing what's necessary and complimenting the music, man. That's the biggest thing, and that's one of the things that I feel like has contributed to my success as a musician. It's just like giving the music what it needs, and, you know, serving the music. Like I said earlier, I'm here with Jeffrey Osborne. Like, he's a drummer, so he's like, "Hey, man, give me that pocket. I don't want no chops." No crazy chops, like, within reason, just making sure that you're playing musical, and it's like certain moments where I will do chops. So, like, say if I'm going from a verse to the chorus, it's like a transition feel that I may play in certain moments like that I can kind of be myself. But I'll say 90% or 95% of the gig, I'm playing the patterns and I'm playing the records. But like I said, I think that's the thing. Like, it's like, if you have discipline, if you start in church and when you learn discipline and learn, like, how to sound authentic in each genre and serve the music, that's a benefit, man. Yeah. Yes, sir. Anybody else? Yeah. The best what? Oh, bass player. Woo, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Man, I'm gonna say this. Here recently, last time I was here in January, I was here with Layla Hathaway, and Eric Smith, man. They call him Pig Funk. Anybody know who that is? All right, so he's the MD for Layla Hathaway and the MD for Janet Jackson right now. But hey, man, I had a good time, bro. He was locked, man. He's definitely one of my favorites. That was my first time gigging with him too, man. But, man, just the pocket and just, like, the chemistry between us, man, it was just locked, man. So he's one of my favorite right now. There's another guy named Chris Snowden. He's another guy. He's from I don't know what part of Alabama, but Alabama. No, he's not from Alabama. Pensacola, Florida. That's where he's from. We met maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago on a gig, and he's another one, man. Look him up, Chris Snowden. Now, another one of my favorites that I haven't had the opportunity to play with yet is Matt Ramsey. Man, I tell this dude all the time, like, man, bro, we got to work on something together, man. Cause that dude is he's a beast, man. Um, so yeah, Matt Ramsey is one of my favorites, man. I'm putting it out there. I want to work with Matt Ramsey. But yeah, man. Oh, and James J.T. Thompson in my band, Four Corners. Our chemistry, man, it's a lot of things that we do. The spontaneous when we play with our band, Four Corners, and with my stuff too. It's like he may do a riff on bass, and I may match it, just not even knowing, not even realizing that it happened. And it's like just that chemistry of us just playing and practicing together on a weekly basis. Like we get up usually used to get up every Monday and rehearse with each other, and just us developing that chemistry over the years, man. It's like it's crazy, man. So those are some of my favorite basses, man. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do some raffles, man. And then I'll get back to the questions and probably play a little bit more too. So what do we got first, man? Drumsticks. All right. So which ones are those? Okay, cool. So we got some regular barrel tips. We got some other barrel tips that have my signature on them. And then we got a CD and a wristband. So, matter of fact, let me shake it up. I don't want to cheat anybody. All right, so first name. Yeah, you're going to have to read that one, bro. Maui. Woo! That good man. Yo, man. Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. All right. Right now? Okay. All right. Got one more. This is for the wristband and CD. All right, here we go. Oh, this was easy. Irene Diaz. I got it right. Hey. All right, cool. I probably do let's do like a few more questions and then I'm gonna play a little bit more. That's cool? All right, my man right here. Yes, I do. Let's see. Oh, here you go. This one I caught. Um, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna show you something. This is a field that I do a lot. Honestly, with Jeffrey Osborne on that gig, like when I'm doing, I mentioned earlier, like transition fields. This is one of my go-to setups. I actually need to learn some more, so I don't sound so repetitive. But this is one of my go-tos right here. Let's see. this is another thing too. This is another good practice tool that I use. So like, it's easy sometimes for us to play fields fast in that tempo, but it's so much more difficult to slow it down and like really pay attention to the sticking. So like, that's another thing that I like to practice too, and that's something else that'll help you with timing and like your meter and help you not to rush fills or drag or play behind or whatever. It allows you to gain more control over each limb. So that's something I like to do to a metronome too, is like slow these patterns down and gradually increase the speed. So I'm gonna go back to this field, or I'm gonna show you the sticking. So my left hand and my kick are playing together on that part. So you like. You see what I'm saying? It's like breaking this down and like really paying attention to the sticking and what you do. Like that's been a field that I haven't necessarily like worked out or taken time to like spend time with to figure out the sticking, but that's what I'm doing now. But that's the concept though. It's like really just working out different patterns and in your practice time and like really like recording yourself and going back and looking at it and viewing it and see how it fits in the music. But I'll say this, most of the time when I do fills, it's like I'll pay more attention and focus more on how I start the fill rather than the entire fill as a whole. So like most of the time if I can get into the fill, it's like I kind of just allow myself to flow through it because I know what a one is going to be. So if I set myself up with like this pattern, I can kind of go from that point. But it does take practice though, and I think learning full chops and full fills will allow you to take certain concepts and create from there. But yeah, I'm gonna show you this one more time. I'm gonna try to play it even slower so that you can get it. So up the speed. That's another one. It's like that's a quick like little in and out feel that I do a lot. And then you can mix it around. It's same pattern. I just came back to the snare instead of standing on the floor time. So that's one of the patterns that I use a lot as far as 16 note triplet fills. And that's the way I work on it, is like just trying different patterns and just seeing, record myself and seeing what feels best in the music and just kind of going from there. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, you mean like the 16 note triplet fill versus straight 16 note fill? Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That's a good question. Like, So let me ask you this: do you mean something like kind of like the behind the beat type of feel versus dealer stuff? I got you. So um, I'll say this: the best way I think to work on that is actually playing to the records. Because I think that's going to be the best way to establish like the feel of that style of music. Because it's not it's based around feel, like Feel. It's based around that and not so much of like I guess technique. It's like totally based on feel. So I think the way I would approach it is like playing to those Dilla records and like locking in with them. Like if you record yourself and like listen back to it, you will hear like if your kick drum is off or like flamming between you and the record, and if it is, like that'll be an indication like, hey, I need to play more on top or play more behind the beat and like lock in with the groove. But I think as far as establishing a certain authentic feel in any genre of music is like playing along to the records. Now as far as like being able to technically play it is like just spending time like working out the patterns on your own and playing to a metronome or whatever. But I think as far as establishing the feel of the music though, is playing to the records. Yeah. Anybody else? I'll take one more and then I'm gonna play a little bit more. My man right here. Okay. So that's a good question. I'm in that process now. So like my approach for this has been I've spent like it depends on how much time you have, first of all. But I always like to spend like at least the first week just listening to the music over and over. Like, I mean, pretty much like all day. Not even sitting behind the drum kit and touching the kit at all. Just like listening. Because what'll happen is it's like even but like before you sit behind the kit, you're gonna know the music. Just by listening. That's a practice tool. Listening is also practice. So I like to spend at least a week or a few days or whatever just listening without touching the kit. After that, I also like to, I don't always do this, but I also like to chart the songs out. That's another thing that I like to do because what happens is while you're listening and when you chart, you get a visual image of what the song looks like on paper. So it's like when you're playing it live, even if you're not reading the chart that you created, it's like you can see the image in your head of what the song looks like. So you can see in your mind like, okay, it's 4 bars in the hook, it's 4 bars in the verse. So charting is another thing I like to do. So say I spend the first week listening, second week I chart. Next week, I'm behind the kit. And I'm running through the stuff. And by then, it's like, at that point, it's me working out my choreography. So say if I'm using, say if I have triggers, if I'm using electronic sounds too, it's like, if you're on a pop gig, it's like you have to practice when to switch the kits on the TD50 or SPDS. Like you actually have to work that stuff out because when you're playing a song, you may only have like 1 second to switch the kit. You need to figure out like if you're gonna switch it with your hand or if you're gonna use a foot switch or whatever. So the third week, that's what I'm spending time on, like working out, my orchestration and working out the choreography. Like, hey, I'm gonna switch right here, or I'm gonna change it with my hand, or whatever, and working out my setup. And then the rest of the time I have, I'm just running everything. So that's usually my process for learning, like listening, charting, get behind the kit, just practicing, and feeling more natural with it. Yeah. All right. So, all right. So say if I get a call today, right, for a gig that's on Saturday. Say I got a couple days. What's today? Thursday? Say I got 2 days. Honestly, if I feel like I can't pull it off, or if it's gonna stress me out, I may not take the gig. I'm gonna be honest, because the thing that you don't want to happen is you don't want to take a gig and not have enough time to prepare and you bomb on a gig, because it's like your name is, that's it. It's like if your name is bad, it's a wrap. You gotta move. You need to move to another country and change your name, bro. So like that's what I consider. I'm like, okay, do I have enough time to prepare for this gig and like really be 110% on this gig? And if not, I don't take the gig. And honestly, man, people respect that, and they'll most of the time they'll call you again because they know that you take your craft serious and you don't want to bomb on a gig. You're not just taking it just because it's a gig and you really want to do the gig. Because keeping a clean name and being on point is very important. But say if I got like a week though to work on the music, it's like say it's like it's pushing it, but I kind of got enough time to get it. I'll chart. So and it's like kind of instead of me spending a week just listening, I'll be charting and listening. So I'm charting and I'm listening at the same time, and I'm getting that visual image of the song in my head. And also, depending on the type of gig it is, usually like if I get a call for a gig and and I only have a week, it's usually like most of the time it's usually either a church gig or a lounge or a bar type of gig most of the time. So I just have my charts on the iPad and I'll sit it next to me on the gig just to make sure if I forget something, I got a little cheat sheet right here and get through the gig. So that's usually my process for that. Like if I got a little bit of time and it's kind of pushing it, I chart and I listen, and I have my notes next to me. So yeah. Yeah, so it's just cheat sheets, bro. So like, the way I started, so like say I'm listening to the song, listening down, I'll write the amount of bars in each section first. So I'll be like, okay, say I'm in the intro. Say the intro is 4 bars. I'll section it off, write the time signature 4/4 or whatever. Write a number 4, draw the line. Say the next section is the pre-chorus. That's 4 bars, draw number 4. So I'll write how many bars in chart format, and then I'll come back around, and like if there are band licks or band hits or whatever, I'll notate those, write those notes out. So like say I got this pattern, it's like 1 and a 2 and a da. I'll write that out, the actual notes, and I may put like in parentheses, say if it's like say if it's like the 4th bar, right? I got this section, 4 bars, a 4-bar hook, and say the lick is on the last bar of 4. I'll write a number 3, put a dash, draw a number 1, still 4 bars in that section, and then I'll draw the actual lick up under that number 1. So that way I know, hey, this lick is happening on this measure. So that's usually how I go about it. It's like drawing out the amount of bars first and then coming back around and notating the riffs and the band licks. Yep. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit, and I'll probably do some more questions and stuff too. That's cool? All right, cool. Man, I'm tired. Can y'all tell? Man, I want to say thank you again for coming out. um, hopefully we can make this an annual thing. Hey man, I want to tell y'all, man, I had a great time tonight. Man, it's good to see all y'all in the building, man. Really means a lot. So after this, I'm gonna be over here just chilling. I like to say what's up to everyone and shake your hand, sign stuff, whatever, man. Thank you again for coming out, man. Thank you, Stafford. So, oh yeah, we got merch. I got merch for sale too. Got some CDs. That last song that I just played was The Comeback. That's the title track from my album that I released last year. And yeah, we got some CDs over here for sale out. I'll sign them, all that good stuff. I got some Vic Firth sticks with my signature on them. Got those. Got the Got Pocket wristband over here. Man, I don't have T-shirts, bro. But we do ship to South Africa though. I will say that. Yeah, we do. So we got some wristbands over here, and yeah, man, I'm gonna be over here. I want to say what's up to everyone, shake your hand, take photos, all that good stuff. So thank you, Stafford, again for having me, man. I gave Stafford a hand. He put all this together, did everything, man. My guy Marlon, thank you for the kit. Thank you, Damien, for transportation, all that good stuff, man. Hey, thank you guys, man. Thank you, Bothaners, and everybody. Thank y'all for coming out, man. Real quick, man, I want to do a video for the, I'm going to do it for the gram. I want to get everybody background, man. I'm going to do it from the kit. I'm going to just count to 3, and yeah, man, just scream as loud as you can, bro. That's cool. We're about to do it for the gram real quick. All right, y'all ready? All right, here we go. What up, Cape Town? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. All right, man, come say what's up. I'm gonna be over here. All right.